Caleb Williams enjoys last laugh as Shedeur Sanders' prediction backfires. Caleb Williams has the last laugh after Skip Bayless' prediction that believing. Caleb Williams had the last laugh after Shedeur Sanders was predicted by Skip Bayless to overlap him. Williams enjoyed a standout season in his second year with the Chicago Bears, proving to detractors why he deserved to be selected number 1 overall in the 2024 NFL Draft. Sanders, on the other hand, is hoping to find his footing with the Cleveland Browns, with his rookie year filled with turbulence. That said, Bayless believed that Sanders had what it took to become an even better player than Williams was, despite being drafted later. The pundit's comments were a string made after watching the former Colorado Stars tape in college. "I'm a Shedeur fan, over Caleb, and I'll tell you why. I'm projecting way into the future because we don't have enough body of work from Shedeur yet," Bayless said in a previous episode of Undisputed. The pundit claimed that as he watched more of Sanders' tape, the more he was convinced that his time at Colorado did not do him any favors. "I'm gonna remind everyone out there that Shedeur Sanders has been sacked more than anyone in college football this year. He's under siege on nearly every snap," Bayless continued. "He doesn't move to run, he moves and slides to find the uncovered receiver. The more I watch him, the more he grows on me, because you other thing you cannot forget is his rushing attack is dead last in college football. There are 134 schools in college football and nobody has run the ball more poorly than Colorado has. If you're a quarterback who has been sacked the most, with the worst running game in college football, what does that mean for your degree of difficulty? It's impossibly high." That said, while Bayless was initially high on Sanders' ability to be better than Williams, it appears the gap between the two quarterbacks has grown significantly. After a turbulent rookie season, the former USC quarterback has shown what made him such a tantalizing prospect when he was selected number 1 in the 2024 draft. In his sophomore season, and first with new head coach Ben Johnson, Williams helped lead the Bears to an 11-6 record, while also breaking the franchise's single-season passing record with 3,942 yards thrown. He also threw 27 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions under Johnson. The star quarterback also led the Bears to their first playoff win in 15 years, orchestrating an 18-point comeback to stun the Green Bay Packers. Williams' calm demeanor helped them climb out of numerous deficits throughout the regular season, en route to their NFC divisional round game against the Los Angeles Rams. It's not a fluke in Williams' eyes, however, stating, "It's no, oh, this happened, we're lucky. We've done this multiple times this year. It's been proven for us to be a great second-half team. In the playoffs, you can't get behind every game. You can't have the miscues and things like that. So, we're going to go back and fix it. But if the game comes down to it, we're going to keep fighting. If the game comes down to the last play, if the game comes down to the last 2 minutes, I believe in us, and that'll keep going forever." While the former USC product prepares to face the Rams, Sanders will be using the offseason to prepare for his sophomore year with a Browns team looking for a new head coach. Predictions in football are rarely whispered. They are shouted into microphones, typed into headlines, and etched into timelines where time has a cruel way of returning to collect receipts. Few rivalries embody that truth more vividly than the one, real or imagined, between Caleb Williams and Shedeur Sanders. Two quarterbacks born into spotlight, raised on expectation, and framed by narratives larger than any single game. For months, one prediction hovered over both of them like a storm cloud: that Shedeur Sanders, not Caleb Williams, would be the one whose game translated more smoothly, more immediately, more convincingly to the NFL. It sounded reasonable at the time. Sanders was praised for his poise, his toughness, his ability to stand tall behind collapsing pockets. Analysts spoke glowingly about his mental processing, about how he had already been hardened by adversity. Williams, on the other hand, was labeled the artist, brilliant, improvisational, dazzling, but perhaps too dependent on chaos. The argument was familiar: flash versus function, creativity versus structure. And in that framing, many decided that when the lights were brightest, Sanders would outlast Williams. Football, however, has a way of punishing certainty. As the season unfolded, the prediction didn't just miss the mark, it reversed itself. And in that reversal, Caleb Williams didn't gloat. He didn't need to. The game itself delivered the punchline. From the opening weeks, Williams looked less like a quarterback learning the league and more like one bending it to his will. What stood out wasn't the highlight throws, though there were plenty, but the discipline beneath them. He wasn't just scrambling for survival, he was manipulating defenders with his eyes, climbing the pocket with patience, choosing when to be spectacular and when to be surgical. The narrative that he would struggle to adapt to NFL structure dissolved as quickly as it had formed. Meanwhile, the weight placed on Shedeur Sanders grew heavier by the week. Every hit he absorbed, every stalled drive, every uneven performance was measured against that bold prediction. The league did not soften for him. Defensive coordinators tested his timing. Pass rushers challenged his durability. And while Sanders showed flashes of resilience and toughness, the very traits that fueled the original belief, the translation wasn't as seamless as promised. This wasn't a failure of talent. It was a reminder of how thin the margins are at quarterback, and how dangerous it is to assume that one style of success guarantees another. Williams, for his part, seemed almost liberated by doubt. He played with a calm edge, a quiet confidence that suggested he had heard the noise but refused to internalize it. When protections broke down, he didn't panic. When reads weren't clean, he didn't force the issue. And when the moment called for something extraordinary, he delivered it with a casual brilliance that felt inevitable rather than reckless. The last laugh didn't come in a single game or a single stat line. It came in accumulation. In third down conversions where Williams extended plays just long enough to break a defense's spirit. In red zone sequences where he trusted the system rather than his ego. In late-game situations where his composure turned chaos into control. For Shedeur Sanders, the season became something different, a test not just of ability, but of patience. The same toughness that once defined his appeal now became a double-edged sword. Taking hits is admirable, but avoiding them is survival. Processing quickly is essential, but doing so against NFL speed is an entirely different challenge. The prediction that he would be more ready overlooked the reality that readiness is not a fixed trait. It is a moving target shaped by coaching, environment, and opportunity. And that is where the backfire truly took shape. By framing Sanders as the safer bet and Williams as the risk, the conversation inverted the truth. Williams' creativity was never a liability, it was a foundation. It allowed him to solve problems in multiple ways, to adapt when the original plan failed. What looked like freelancing